one of those moments this morning. I was spending a little bit of alone time. When I say alone time, in between taking Ziggy and Skylar for a little walk this morning, not as long as my wife does, because she does it at the highest level and makes sure she sprinkles magic on everything. Brooklyn, I absolutely love you. And she's up in LA right now working on a corporate shoot for Paul Mitchell. She is an unbelievable human being. And I like to brag about her. She doesn't brag about herself at all. But she does it a lot better. But this morning, I had to take care of the two dogs, Ziggy, the little monster, and then Skylar, the lady of leisure. So I got a chance to be able to take them out. And then I had to do that first and get Maddox. He likes to walk around the block and throw the football in the morning, so he kind of gets his body moving. And then getting both kids ready, to take them to school and stuff. And I got to spend just a little bit of alone time. It was about 3.5, 4 minutes, whatever it was. And I turned on some music, and I was like, man, this music is so inspiring. And I sat and I listened to the lyrics, and it was like, be great, be great. And I was like, man, I need to, be the best I can be and be great in this world and do all these things. And then I got done with my 3 to 4 minutes of alone time, and I went to turn the music off, and it was a long song, and I realized that the song was not called Be Great. It was actually Be Praised. And I thought about it, and I was like, wow, what the world was telling me, be great. And I was like puffing my chest out and beating my chest and be like, yo, I got to do this today. I got to be great. That's what I got to do. And then it just took the wind out of my sails a little bit, to tell you the truth, because it said be praised. And that was me shining all the light on what God had done in my life and being grateful. And then, just being in a situation where I was praising him for all the incredible things and that he would bring a great day. And so my mind completely shifted from, I've got to do all these things, to I've simply got to focus on all of the great things that God has already brought. I'll praise him in it. And when I praise him in it, it's an act of faith as opposed to circumstance. And it's unreal what happened. And then he followed up. I went into my study today of Proverbs 11, the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. And this gives us it made me ask the question, what do I really hear? Because I was listening to a song, but what I heard was be great. What was actually being said was be praised. But what I heard was what was in my heart. I've got to be great. I've got to do these things. And so what it helped me to realize was that most of the time, our heart condition determines what our ears actually hear. And this was hard for me to be able to listen to today, but also God was asking me, what do you actually hear? What are you hearing? Not what you're listening to, not what you're reading, but what do you actually hear? Because that's the condition of your heart, and it'll tell you the condition of your heart. And so in Proverbs 11, it just gave us the unfiltered truth that helps us understand the condition of our heart. And this unfiltered truth, as it goes down, it is, I'm telling you, if you don't want to get a little jab today, actually a jab, then a hook, and then an uppercut. If you don't want to get that today from truth, then I would say turn this episode off. But I tell you, I got kicked in the head today because God was telling me, this is where you need to focus. And when you focus on me, I'll bring you truth, and you will hear exactly what I need you to hear at that time, because I'll work on the condition of your heart. So let's get this party started.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Humbling situations. I always seem to have them, and that's the way that God deals with me, is not, hey, you need to, you're the greatest in the world, son. It's more of hey, let me smack you upside the head and let you know that if you focus on me, everything will work out well. If you focus on me, everything will be great. But if you focus on trying to be great, it ain't going to happen. and or it'll be fleeting. It'll happen for a second, but it won't be what you thought it was going to be. And in Proverbs 11, the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day here on Inchstones, it is unreal. I want to give a couple of huge shout outs. Ellie, thank you so much for reaching out. The comments from Jimmy Barbour, you and your family listening to. Jimmy had told me that he sits down in the morning about 7:30 and he lets his family listen to Inchstones, and they listen to it together. And Jimmy, I want to tell you, you're doing a great thing. You're an incredible man. And also, too, I'm excited to meet your wife at some point, but it's great what you're doing with your kids. And I was talking with Keith Hale yesterday, and he was just talking about, Jimmy, how your integrity and just an incredible man that you are. So I want to let you know that when you're not around and you can't hear it, people are speaking well of you and speaking life to you. And I wanted to lift you up. And also, Ashley, you know who you are. We're listener supported with the podcast. And, we just want to thank you guys so much for all of your support. And, I just want to tell you guys, you're absolutely awesome. Get a chance tonight, which is so great. I'm doing a red eye and great generally don't go together. But I'm going on a red eye flight out to Atlanta tonight. And tomorrow I get a chance to lead a panel of Christian filmmakers and some amazing people. I'm going to be with James Dixon, so big shout out to him. Love you. Absolute motivation. If you haven't listened to it, go ahead and do that. But when I was talking about Inchstones, it's the corresponding proverb, corresponding day. If you're tuning in for the first time, I just want to, I want to thank you for being here with us. Check out the book, The Vibe. You can get that on Amazon. You can click the link, and also Bling Shine Serum. It has moisture, strength, and shine. It smells like vacation. Every woman needs a little bit of bling in their life. You can check the links for those, and which I think will be amazing. So I want to thank you guys so much again for being here with me. This Proverbs 11. It really brought me into a different state, because my whole morning this morning, my 3 or 4 minutes of alone time was me thinking and that I heard something that said, be great, be great. This is kind of cool. I don't get a chance to be able to do this very often, but let's see. How you doing, baby?
Hey, Dad,
I am on a podcast. Would you like to be on it too?
Excuse my absences so I don't have to go to Monday detention.
Okay, I'll make sure that I do that. But I am recording right now on Inchstones, so I will do it. I love you. This is my 15-year-old daughter. If you're listening, guys, this is the way that life is. So hey guys, you want to tell them any wisdom for today?
Don't miss 6 or more days of school in September.
Hey, can you tell them what your thought process was on the upcoming election and how we could solve this challenge?
I think we should all just be chill for like 4 years and everything will be fine.
I love your wisdom, baby. You're amazing. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
I just stepped out of AP Euro, so I have to go head back in.
Okay.
But I'm wearing Elena Means' shoe, and I need you to go do that.
Be on your grind. Love you.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. So I answered the call because she called me twice, and but she knew that I was on a podcast too. So here we go. Proverbs 11, and this is exactly how my morning went, right? So I was, wanting to get some alone time. I got to make sure that the kids are taken care of because my wife is out of town, and, we're going through the whole nine. But in this, I listened to those lyrics, and I was like, be great, be great. If you've heard it by Maverick City, you know what I'm talking about. And that's what I thought. I was like, wow, this is amazing. But I also was like, really? It's telling you to be great? It doesn't. This may sound contradictory, but a lot of times the world will tell you, like, you need to be great. And God is saying, like, I just need to be praised. And think of those two separate sides. Be great. Like, there's a lot of pressure on you to have to do all these things. And then God is saying, no, I'm to be praised. If you'll praise me, I'll bring all the greatness into your life. And so it was a flip around for me today. And then, then in Proverbs 11, if you notice too in Proverbs, if you read the corresponding one for the corresponding day, Proverbs 1 through 10 is kind of like a nice like call out to you. Hey, I'm setting you up. This is all the benefits, features, the benefits of wisdom, which you're going to get from these Proverbs. As it goes into the second, it starts to tell you like you need to listen. Like you need to listen, because if you don't, there's going to be some things that happen in your life that you're not going to be, you're not going to be happy about. And then that's in 11 through 20. And then from 20 to 31, it's broken into 3 stages. Number 1 is like, all the benefits. Number 2 is like, you better listen to the wisdom and, take the benefits, because if not, it's not going to be good. And then from 20 through 31, it just says like, hey, dummy, you need to pay attention. And it starts getting a little stronger with you. In Proverbs 11 today, this is where it started to get a little strong and give us some unfiltered truth. And this is that jab, the right cross, and the uppercut. And I told you earlier that if you don't want to hear that, I would turn the episode off. I would enjoy if you didn't, but that would be great. So Proverbs 11 is do right at all times, even when you don't want to. And this was listed in verse 1, 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, 18, 19, 20, 20, 21, 23. It was listed a lot. So the whole emphasis of this proverb was just do right even when you don't want to. And this is probably one of the hardest things in the world. Like, especially my friends call me all the time with, and I work with clients and they ask me, what should I do in this situation? Well, most of the time I just ask them the questions. Okay. So, where are our core values, which is our heart set? Where is our mindset, which is our intentions? Where is your actions? Are they in line in this decision? If they're in line, let's move forward. But if they're not in line, let's just stop for a second, pause, and think about them, and then let's get them back in line. So when we talk about doing the right thing, how do we know what the right thing is? The only way that you'll know is when you're in communication with God on a day-to-day basis. And so when we're on a day-to-day basis with him, and how can we do that? Through his word, through talking with him, through spending time, even if it's 3.5 or 4 minutes of alone time, like I did this morning, hearing the wrong lyrics to the song. And you've all done this, and you've sung the wrong lyrics to a song, but now you're judging me. So here we go. In verse 2, it was talking about the ego will cause you to do silly things. And ego generally will cause you to step out of your own character and who you are. And it'll cause, like, ego brings strife. And then when strife comes, then pride comes, and then all kind of stress comes. So, but ego generally brings all its friends with it. So you'll generally do silly things when your ego gets involved. So just be conscious of it. Doesn't mean that you're going to be void of ego. Ego can be good, right? Ego can be good, but just make sure that you control it. In verse 4, 7, and 28, this was funny because we grew up in Lompoc, California. We didn't have that much growing up, but my brother, and I want a big shout out to Rob. Rob always had game. He always had game. And he didn't have the nicest car. He didn't have the nicest clothes. He didn't have any of those things. But hey, the thing that he did not lack was game. But this is crazy because you can't buy it. You can't buy the right things, buy the right car, buy the right chains, and be cool. You can't have game that you have. Game cannot be bought. You have to earn it. And so in 4, 7, and 28, it talks about this. And I just thought it was so funny. And verse 9 and 13 is, are you a cheerleader or do you need to be cheered on? Are you a cheerleader? Are you lifting people up, speaking life into people? Or are you the one that always needs somebody to lift you up? If you're the one that always needs to be lifted up, be very conscious of this. And what I would start to do is start to speak life into every single other person that's around you. In verse 12, are people better when you leave? This is a thought process we had in our company, and as we grew, we would talk about this all the time, is just we want to leave this industry or this environment or this place better than the way that we found it. Are people better after they were in your presence? And when they leave you, are they better? And if they aren't, then start checking how you're treating people and how you're connecting with people. I got a chance to talk with Tara Harvell yesterday. If you haven't got the chance to listen to the episode, it was unreal, episode 523. And this was a girl who came to work with me at 18 years old and now has just went into the stratosphere, 8-figure CEO, amazing, and a full circle moment. Now she's hiring me to come and do the keynote for her conference, which is amazing, right? And in verse 14, do you seek counsel? And then I would even add to that, do you seek wise counsel? Because there's times where you could seek counsel, but sometimes not wise. In verse 15, debt challenges your character. So when you go into debt, just be careful, whether it be personally, professionally, spiritually, or financially. When you go into debt, it'll always challenge your character, and it'll cause you to sometimes cut corners. So just be conscious of debt in your life, personally, professionally, spiritually, and financially. In verse 16 and 17, does kindness overflow? There's a difference between kindness and being nice. And so being nice is out of obligation. Being kind is out of contribution. Are you contributing to every single person? And I said this at a conference that I just spoke at, the keynote for NiftyCon recently. And what I said was, are people around you because of the advantage that they get when they're with you, or the value that you add to their life? If they're only around you when they get advantage, they have an expiration date on them. When they're around you because you add value, that's when that relationship is able to grow, and there's more and more value, and it exponentially grows. So just be conscious of that. In verse 22, I thought of this because I used to live in Las Vegas, and they used to say that Las Vegas downtown, like near East Fremont Street, was like the big thing, and everyone's going to move down there, and that was going to be the newest thing. It was nice, but at the end of the day, it was putting lipstick on a pig. Like, you know, I mean, it was cool. There's some cool places down there. I think it's amazing. I have some friends who have some phenomenal businesses down there, but also you walk out of the business and into crack alley. Like, so as much lipstick as you put on a pig, at the end of the day, it's still a pig. And some people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but I mean, it is. You gold plate dog poop, you still have dog poop at the end, but it just happens to be gold plated. So just be conscious of this. In verse 22, it talks about, in verse 24, 25, and 26, generosity wins big. And all I think about when I think about that is Gary Spellman, probably one of the most generous people that I've ever met in my life, and his best friend, which is a friend of mine, JP, two of the most generous people that you'll ever meet in your entire life. Also, too, as we go with that, is just seeking God finds favor. Seeking God finds favor. And when you seek God, you'll find favor. When you seek good, you'll find favor. But when you seek good, it'll lead you to what God is doing in your life, because that's what he does. And so in verse 29, family first and all else will fall in line. This is what I learned from my brother, but it's in verse 29 in Proverbs 11, is family first and all else will fall in line. Does it align with your family? Does it lift up your family? And does it breathe life into your family? If so, move forward. If not, walk with caution. And we finish up in verse 30 and 31. Are you a tree of life and are to all of those around you? Meaning, are you rooted and grounded? Are you lifting up to the heavens? Where, I mean, I remember hearing a parable about this, where there was a tree and it went all the way past the clouds into the heavens. And because it was rooted in the ground and it was touching heaven, it blessed all the people around. The birds, everything was blessed because of it. Are your feet rooted in the ground? Are you rooted here? And are you touching God? And when that happens, you'll bless all those people around you. Are you a tree of life to people around you? And if you're not, just stop for a second, pause, because slowing down, stopping never hurt anybody. You see, this morning when I was listening to that song, be great, be great, be great, I started to feel a little stress. I started to feel a little, wow, I need to be great today. And I started to feel a little bit, yeah, I'm going to go do this thing. But when the paradigm shifted, when I actually realized what it said was be praised, be praised, be praised. And it was their song was speaking to God, just be praised. And it reminded me of my mom, that God's in the midst of the praise of his people. Praise unlocks blessing, and praise him in all things. And so, you know, when we do that, we act on faith as opposed to circumstance, and that's where he wants our relationship. And it's amazing, because what I want to challenge you today is just write down 5 things that God should be praised for in your life. And when that happens, you'll see that your day will be great, and you won't have to focus on being great. Just praise him. So as opposed to be great, allow him to be praised. This has been Proverbs 11, Inchstones. I love you a bunch. We have the Vibe Room coming November 9th. The tickets are going to be available very soon. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning into Inchstones. Make sure that you share it with every single person that you can. And also comment. Make sure you subscribe, put on the notifications too. I love you so much. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day. Happy Friday to you. I love you a bunch. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got 2 shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. survive. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.